and welcome to episode 2 of The Frozen North, your source for the best adventures and RPGs that video games have to offer. My name is JJ, and I'm here alongside my two co-hosts, Mark.
Howdy, my name's Mark, and I'm very worn out today.
And Brian.
Hey, guys.
All right, short and sweet. I like it. Episode 2, guys. We have effectively doubled our episode count.
It's 100% more.
Right? It's excellent.
Is that how the math works?
I think so.
Math
is sweet.
We teach you about math on the show, too.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So, what you guys been playing lately?
I've been playing Kingdom Hearts, and it's a lot of work.
Well, we'll get into the review. Is that pretty much all you've been taking up all your time?
Does watching the GTA gameplay trailer 5 times count as playing a game?
I don't know that it counts as playing a game, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, concur on that one.
I cannot wait. Cool. Brian?
I've actually been playing, I just got done with Final Fantasy 1, and then, as you know, last week I talked about my journey. I decided to amend that a bit. I'm breaking up the journey every time I play a Final Fantasy game. I then play a different RPG just to kind of give me some variety. And I'm actually
cleansing your palate?
Yeah, well, because, you know, some of them are tough to get through, and Final Fantasy 1 was good, but I was like, you know what, I need to change. Instead of going right into 2, I decided to start playing Chrono Trigger, so I'm
good call.
Probably about 12 hours into that, and I'm loving every second of it.
It's your first time playing through, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. There's a lot of RPGs out there that, if you were to look at the top 100 list, I have to check them off my list, so I'm going to be doing that in the coming future times.
Yeah, I love Chrono Trigger. It's, oh, man. Love it. Great game.
I hate that game.
Yeah, obviously.
Said no one ever.
It was on your list last week, or 2 weeks ago. Me, I have, I finished The Last of Us, which was phenomenal. I mean, easily one of the best games I've ever played. The ending was... Brian and I were talking about it a little bit before, and we can't really talk about it too much now because Mark's here and he hasn't beaten it yet.
Boo!
But let's just say I think the ending is fantastic. If you haven't beaten it, definitely go check it out because it's one of those endings that makes you want to talk about it afterwards because everybody has their own opinion of how it turned out and like whether it's good, bad, and I mean you really. And I'll also admit that I now know what Brian was talking about in the first episode with his little jerk speech.
I had to dance around it.
But I totally understand what he means now.
Doesn't it make you curious, though, with the ending about the story-driven DLC? They're doing a story DLC.
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you like, what are they going to do?
Definitely.
How...
That's what it was like when they said that about Bioshock.
Exactly. Both those games, I'm like, they have story-driven DLC? How? I'm assuming it's just going to be like an ancillary character just in the universe, but still, it's intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an amazing playthrough. I absolutely loved it. Once I beat that, I had a week left before we recorded this, so I picked up an old game called Beyond the Beyond for PlayStation 1. It was definitely a game.
What's the game? What is Beyond the Beyond?
It is an old school PS1 game that looks like a late Nintendo or early Super Nintendo game. It's not very good, to be honest with you.
Hey.
I just had a hard time getting into this one. It was just the battles were really slow. There's no tutorial at all, which normally doesn't bother me, but since there's so many advanced moves and stuff like that, it's like, unless you read the instruction booklet cover to cover, thank God I got it in good shape. I got it used, but I mean, I still had everything with it. You wouldn't be able to figure this stuff out because there's nothing in game that tells you about it. So I would not recommend it to anybody.
It was in the days before the old in-game tutorial, huh?
Yes.
Oh boy,
absolutely. It's just not. Yeah, and with the counter rate being so high, like you just don't want to fight, and it's just Anyways,
it's a chore.
Yes, absolutely. The whole game feels like a chore.
I gotta love that.
Does the Steam sale count as a game?
You've been playing the Steam sale, huh? Getting them cards, collecting them
trading
all.
cards. So it's got.
I have made money. I've made $2 so far.
How do you make money?
You can sell the cards.
Seriously?
I thought I'd put it on there.
Pay for the cards.
Like each card I've put on for like 45 cents, and I'm like, okay, I guess eventually I'll be able to buy a game. It's like
interesting.
Yeah,
let's look at that.
Well, it's what Steam's been trying to do. They're trying to figure out a way to make all your games relate to each other.
Yeah.
So you collect cards in one game can benefit you in another. I think it's pretty intuitive.
I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike again.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
And
Which
so I've
version?
been Go.
yeah.
But I've been like trying to get myself back into it because I used to be pretty good, and so I've been playing against just expert bots, and I'd say I'm probably about as good as them right now, since it's the same game, but it's obviously updated quite a bit, so it's changed a lot since
Right.
I played, which was like a 1.5. Anyways, so other than that, yeah, Steam sale, freaking
God, nothing like it.
best and worst time of the year.
Yes.
Nothing like it. Yeah, I've set a budget aside and you're like, okay, I can't spend over this because you can get in trouble. But luckily,
Luckily, it's going to be like $20, and you'll get like 30 games.
Well, the problem I'm having is my wish list is so tiny now because there's like 3 games that I'm waiting for and after that I don't know what I'm going to do with my lifetime.
Yeah, I was waiting for Sleeping Dogs, which was on sale for $7.50 last night,
Great game.
but I was asleep.
Oh,
Oh,
Mars,
it was
Missed
on
the
sale?
Yeah.
you missed it.
Whoops. Oh, was
Such
it
a
one of the
fantastic-
flash deals?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
it'll come up on a
might come
daily
back
deal.
again.
It'll come
Hopefully,
up on
yeah.
a daily deal.
All right, well, let's get into our first review. Kingdom Hearts 1, as we said, Mark played it last week, and you were actually going pretty all out on it. I know, because I know the first week you didn't have time to play it, and then the second week you were like, I'm just going to hit it really hard Saturday and see what I can do. And I mean, from what I understand and where you've been telling me, kind of giving me like the feedback and stuff, you've been motoring through that thing.
Yeah. I put in quite a bit of time. I had several like 5-hour play sessions.
Impressive.
I got through Halloween Town.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of stuff after that, but
Ugh.
yeah. It was okay. I can see what they were trying to do.
It's
It has not aged well. Everyone says it.
no, and I'm glad they're coming out with the new version because I think that'll be cool. Let's go bit by bit. First, I mean the graphics.
Yeah.
They're good for PS2? Yeah,
Well, if
PS2 graphics.
actually-
Right.
Here's an important thing to mention. If you're going to play this game, play it on a standard def television
Yes, 4:9.
because it looks really bad when it's upscaled.
Absolutely. He's 100% right.
Good to know.
Yeah, anytime you play retro games that are polygon games, you got to play them on standard def because they just stretched.
Is PS2 retro now?
You know what?
Once
That's
the
mo-
PS4 comes out, it is.
Oh,
you know,
man.
yeah. But, if you think about it, it's like how old are we getting that
Right.
PS2 is retro? Yeah, the graphics. But if we're talking about back when they came out, yeah, they were good. But it's Disney, so they obviously can't make it super realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job considering
I-
how low res and
I agree.
low poly
agree.
it was.
They
Really
captured
captured-
the Disney,
Yes.
and yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Story. You know what? Blending Final Fantasy and Disney is something that before it came out, that would have been the last two things to cross over that I would have thought,
Yeah.
would ever happen.
It works.
I thought they did an outstanding job bringing the two together. I wish I could have played as Final Fantasy characters. That would have been nice.
That would have been
Right.
awesome.
But I mean,
Is that something that's resolved in the future games?
No, see,
Nope.
the funny thing is that though you get Disney characters who are in your party, you never get to play with a Final Fantasy character in your party.
Yeah,
that's
and
kinda
it's-
weird.
It's still cool to see all the cameos, but you're just like, well, is this really that? It's kind of loosely based on Final Fantasy because they don't really have a huge role in the series.
I really enjoyed the what if-ness. You understand what I mean?
nope.
The what if-ness of all the different villains working together and
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
interacting
the
with
mashup.
different
definitely.
worlds.
Sure.
That was a lot of fun. Like Hades tricking Cloud into killing, not Zeus, Hercules.
Yeah.
In the tournament, yep.
Yeah, it really. I mean, again, I can't say enough good things about like how well they crossed over two things that
Should
have
never be
nothing to
crossed
do with
over.
each other
Yeah.
at all. It's. I mean, and I remember when it first came out, everybody was saying like it's going to be for little kids and blah blah blah. And there are certain parts where you're like, that's definitely geared towards a younger audience.
The
But
gummy ship.
we said we wouldn't talk about the gummy ship.
I made a cool one.
But like, there's obviously lots of content in there, for older people as well, and it just meshes so well together. I think, which continues on in the other games as well. At least what I've played.
Mm-hmm.
So, music. What do you think?
It's good. The loops were a little bit short, I think. Like you could definitely hear that you were
Repeats.
listening to a loop really easily, but it was catchy. I was singing the Traverse Town theme while I was driving to work the other day.
Yeah, that's about the only one that really like sticks out in my mind is the Traverse Town. Probably because you keep going back there every 10 seconds. Everything else is, I mean, they have stuff like from the movies and stuff, which you recognize, which is kind of cool. But it's not like you're not going to hear like super amazing original compositions that are spectacular or anything like that. It's just the music's just there.
Yeah,
they didn't hire Danny Elfman to write the entire soundtrack.
Yeah. Gameplay. I know Mark's got a couple of things to say about this, and I agree wholeheartedly. We talked about it earlier, and you mentioned the repeat factor.
Yes. It was at its absolute worst on Tarzan's World.
Yeah.
When you have to swing on the vines to get across the tree area so you can go up to the tree house, and then they make you go back down to the camp, and then they make you go back up to the tree house again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hated
That's my the Tarzan level is my least favorite of that whole game.
And it's at the beginning too, which kind of
so you're like, oh, okay.
Alice wasn't bad.
Alice was fun.
I that one actually. It took me a while to figure out though, where to go. But no, I agree wholeheartedly about the repeat thing. Like there were moments like that. I mean, that's a perfect example of what you said. I remember spending so much time getting through that thing once. And I finally got through it, and I'm like, oh, man, thank God that's over with. Go back down, and then come back again. And it's like, what? I just spent all this time falling.
That's my idea of fun.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It was brutal. And it does that quite a few times in the game. It's very, very repetitive. Brian, I know you've played the second one. Does it rectify that?
Yeah, you guys got to remember that was their first foray into the Kingdom Hearts, so you get a lot of basic, and that's why everything's so basic. The game feels very basic. They were really testing the waters. The second game, I won't go much into it, but basically they addressed all the issues that they were having in the first one. Like you don't repeat areas that often. It's more streamlined. It's quicker. The action's quicker. There's a lot more depth to it. So it's like I said, it's the first entry in the series. They were just seeing what happened and it ended up taking off. So they're like, okay, well, we're going to do more.
Sure.
And it's become this huge phenomenon now.
Okay. Well, I know Brian and I played this game a long time ago, and I personally totally recommend it to anybody curious about the series, whether you're a Disney fan or a Final Fantasy fan. It's worth checking out, no matter what. Brian, do you agree?
Yeah. I'm one of those people who, if I want to start a series, I got to play in. I usually play in order release, so I have to play the first game, the second game, the third game. I recommend it wholeheartedly. However, Mark has valid points. It hasn't aged well. It's very basic. So
I'm hoping, like, obviously the repeating factor they probably won't fix and stuff, but the new HD version that's coming out, it'll definitely look better. I've seen screenshots and video of it, and it looks...
Yeah, they have fixed a ton of issues, though. I read about it, and it's going to be a lot more familiar to people who've played 2, because they knew that 1 was very raw, so they went up and they tried to give it a fresh feel. So
I would say if they address a couple of issues on the re-release, it's definitely worth playing.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. The next game that we had for review this week, Far Cry 3.
I'm jealous.
What a surprise.
You haven't played it?
I have not.
Oh, man.
What a
sale right now.
surprise. I hated Far Cry 2. I hated it. It was the most boring, repetitive game I've ever played. My brother had recommended it to me.
A lot of swinging from vines with Tarzan?
No, it was not a very... I hated it. I don't know about you guys, but... So Far Cry 3 comes out, and I'm thinking, I don't even know if I want to touch this.
Yeah.
And then I just, on Steam, download it for cheap, and I'm like, I'll just try it. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Well, we'll start at the top again. Graphics. I mean, it's great. The cutscenes are phenomenal. I'd say it. I'm not going to say it like pushes the PS3 to its limit, which is what I played it on.
Okay, I played it on a PC.
Yeah, but it's certainly it looks great and feels very, very fluid, very smooth. And
yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any frame rate issues or anything like that. I mean, it
very well
ran
done
very well
graphics wise. Yep.
Story.
Yeah, like I said, this game surprised the crap out of me. Basically, you're sent into this island. You're a bunch of spring breakers. You're skydiving, parachuting. You're doing all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, wham! You're in this completely transformative event, and the development of your specific character is absolutely amazing. How it just gets more and
It's
more
spectacular.
dark.
I've heard a couple of people complain that the main character is kind of whiny or annoying.
At first,
he is.
Yeah, he's the typical spring break kid who's...
I mean, we can probably talk about how it starts. You get captured by a bunch of
Yep.
drug dealers and basically just really bad people.
Mm-hmm.
You end up trying to get out of there and escaping with your brother. Your brother gets killed in the process.
Yes.
You end up getting away, but the main character, he ends up killing a guy on the way out, and it's his first kill ever. He's never killed anybody before, and you can tell he's freaking out, doesn't know what to feel, what to do. I mean, he's just really having a hard time with it. He meets some people, goes throughout the island, does some other stuff and everything. By the end of the game, he's, taken on, tons of people, just taking him out left and right. And,
Yeah.
I mean, he really grows from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, the progression is quite fascinating. Like I said, great nuance to the story on that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. The music,
What's
not really memorable. To be
well,
honest.
yeah. I if you were to talk about Far Cry 3, I couldn't even. I mean,
No.
I'm sure it was there. I'm sure there was a lot of jungle beats, drums. But I don't remember thinking, oh, there is one time I remember the music. One time, and it was like one of the best songs I've heard on a video game. And it's when you're burning the marijuana field, and that reggae version of dubstep comes on.
Yes.
I loved that.
I do remember that. Yes.
That's the only one I remember out of the whole game. That part where it's just got that reggae and then dropping the dubstep. I loved that part. It really I felt good burning all that marijuana.
Yeah, I really, and until you said that, I didn't even remember that part. But
Yeah.
now that you mentioned it, yes, I totally do. And that's about the only thing I really remember from it. Nothing super memorable. Gameplay, I thought it was fantastic. I absolutely, I'm not a big fan of console FPSs. I love PC FPSs, and I will, defend that till the day I die. But this one played incredibly. I was able to get good at it. I was able to shoot no problem. I was able to move my, camera around no problem. Switch guns, aim, all that stuff. It was very, very smooth.
Yeah, it's hard to expand on first person shooters.
Yeah.
They're so, you kind of have to follow this.
I think it's now kind of commonplace just to make it good.
you
People notice
polish
the
it.
bad stuff, and they don't really notice anything spectacular.
I like the hunting aspect of it. I like first person shooters with visceral. Like you get weight to your, you feel, so when you do a sneak attack or you kill a tiger or something,
Yeah.
You feel the weight of that attack, and that's obviously that's very first person shooter trope, but they did really well with it. It felt really fluid and fun.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Which ending did you choose? The good one or the bad one?
This was what made the game so good.
Don't spoil anything.
I won't spoil anything, but I had a serious I don't know what I want to do. Eventually, I think I sat there for like 2 minutes, kind of weighing my options. I ended up going with the good ending,
Yep.
because I actually followed kind of the path I think the kid would have done. But I had a serious dilemma. I was like, oh man, this is a tough choice.
I did the same thing. I didn't debate it or anything. I pretty much knew
That's what you were going to do.
that I was going to do that.
Yeah, right on.
Just because I kind of had a feeling it was going to end like that. But I really I don't know. I'm a good guy at heart, so I always try to get the good ending. At least the first time I beat a game.
Right.
I
You go
remember
to the good.
Fable.
Yeah.
The second time I beat that game, I was like, kill everything, take them
biggest
all
jerk.
out.
I almost
Good
did it though.
old
I
Fable.
almost did the bad ending. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I YouTubed it just because I didn't want to do that stupid knife fight again.
Oh God, yeah, that was
No
dodge
thanks.
left. Oh, okay, shoot.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Was there a territory conquering system in the game?
No.
You have there's good guys and bad guys. You're part of the good guys, which is like the resistance movement type deal, and the bad guys are like the drug runners and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They have patrols that go all over the island. There's actually 2 islands that you find out later on.
Yep.
But the bad guys have patrols that go all over the place. You can take out an outpost in an area And what it'll do is, like, when you haven't taken out an outpost, there'll be an area that's in red on your map. You take the outpost out, and it becomes clear, like the red goes away. Then you see still patrols, but it's the good guys instead of the bad.
So that's also one of my big problems with Far Cry 2.
Yeah. Oh God, don't even get me started. You're exactly right. That's what made Far Cry 2 so terrible.
I never played Far Cry 2.
It was bad. I hated it.
Basically, there's outposts, and they always repopulate.
Yeah.
So you go back to an area, and you have to fight them again.
Once you take this out, it's done.
You know, Ubisoft has done an excellent job with their open world games. I call it segmenting. The game is completely. You can go wherever you want, right when you want to. There are radio towers in the game that are kind of like near, like quest hubs, I guess you could call them.
Yeah.
And that opens up the map. So if you go into this new area, you can go anywhere from the start. You're not like in GTA where there aren't bridges mysteriously closed. You can go wherever you want. And so if you want to start the game off by just discovering the whole map, well, that's fine. It's going to take you a long time. But what I did was, every time I got a quest in a new area where I couldn't see, I'd just go do the hub. And so that was very fun. JJ, what do you think? Recommend or not?
I highly recommend it. Absolutely. If you're a fan of good stories, if you're a fan of first-person shooters, if you're a fan of, just a great game, check it out for sure.
Absolutely.
I haven't tried the multiplayer.
I didn't ever try it either.
But I've heard it's decent.
Yeah, I'm gonna recommend it based on the single player alone.
Absolutely. Yeah. The story and the gameplay are just they're top notch.
Definitely a playthrough. Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna move on now to our top 5 this week. This week we are doing the top 5 video game villains.
All right.
I know I didn't put this on your guys' show notes, but I kind of want to ask.
JJ.
I just kind of want to ask, what do you think makes a good video game villain?
That's a good question. Let's go over to Mark. What do you think, bud?
That is a tough question. There's a lot of good different types of villains.
Yeah.
Ones you hate, ones you love to hate.
You think it has to, like, fit the world also? Or do you think, like, you can just throw a guy who's crazy and loves to kill people into a game?
You can have, like, the high ideology kind of villain or just the crazy I want to kill people villain.
Yeah. I think
it's how it works in the game.
Yeah, surroundings are a big point, in my opinion.
For me, I have 2 types of villains, and you'll see this in my top 5 that they really elevate me. Number 1 for me is mysterious villains, ones that you don't know why they're doing it, or they don't have you don't know their origin. They just kind of seem ambiguous. And the other one is villains who you can make a case for them being a good guy, like the villain who thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yep.
But he's actually doing the wrong thing.
Those ones are awesome.
Yeah, anytime you
Those
get villains
great.
like that, I'll always be like, okay, I don't like just the villain who's like, I'm evil because I'm supposed to be evil so that you can defeat me.
We got to get you playing the Suikoden games, man.
Right. I need a villain that I can say, okay, I get his motive. It's just he's doing it a terrible way, Or I like also the villains who you're like, I have no idea why he's doing this. Like he's just a mystery to me. Like why are you doing it? What's your motive? Those are the 2 types of villains that make excellent villains to me.
Like in my opinion, I really like to know why they're doing what they're doing. Yes, there is something to be said about a bad guy who's bad just for the sake of being bad.
Right.
But, when you got something to back it up to say, like, why they are this way, I think that just adds a lot of flavor to it. And what's funny is that, honestly, at least my number 1, there's really not a lot of backstory to it other than just he's a lunatic. But we'll go ahead and we'll get started. I'll go first. My number 5. I don't think either one. I know neither one of you have played this game.
That is correct.
But it's an okay game. But this guy, his name is Albel. He's from Star Ocean Till the End of Time. The game's okay, but what I really liked about this guy was he was just a maniac. Loved to absolutely kill people. Loved to just create fear and destruction. And he was I don't know if he was a general. I know he was a high-ranking person in the the bad guy quote army that you're going against, and he would basically just do anything to accomplish what he wanted to do or what his boss told him to do. You beat him like once, and he's pissed. He just goes berserk, goes nuts, and it's racking his brain, and he's angry, and blah blah blah. He comes back later on in the game. You fight him again. You beat him again. And afterwards, he's going ballistic. And then as you're leaving, like if you're ever played into Star Ocean games, you know it usually goes from planet to planet. When you leave the planet that he's on, he actually comes. There's a chance. It depends on how you play it because he's one of like 2 or 3 options. But he comes up to you and he's like, I don't like you at all, but I want to figure out what makes you tick. Take me along. And he joins you. So you've got like just this evil, just lunatic on your side who is incredible in battle. And the rest of the game, you know, he never really becomes good per se, but the way he interacts with the other characters and trying to figure out, you know, what makes them tick and why they're like, he's like, you fight for each other? That's ridiculous. And you know, you should just fight for yourself and blah, blah, blah. And it's cool to see those reactions and those interactions between people. So Brian, you're number 5.
Yeah, my number 5 is quite a famous one. He is Arthas, or the Lich King, as we mostly know him, from both World of Warcraft and then also from Warcraft 3. I obviously was first introduced to him in Warcraft 3 as a Paladin of Light. And like I said, you'll find that most of our villains follow 2 tropes. The mystery, we don't really know what their purpose is, and also the guys who they have the right idea in mind, but they just get lost, and they do that whole justify, you know, the ends justify the means justify the ends. And he was like that for me. You know, he starts out and you know the first time you start to see a psychotic Arthas is, you know, the Stratham culling, and I remember seeing that going, oh man, what am I doing? I'm killing these people. But at the same time, I understand why he's doing it. It's you know, he's desperate. The plague's going on, and then you just see him kind of lose his humanity throughout that whole game, and then you know, World of Warcraft, you get to, you know, go up and fight him, and he's by that time he's just completely you know, a husk of his former self. I just love that whole arc of Arthas. That's why he's on my number. That's why he's my number 5.
Cool, Mark.
My number 5 is Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2. Has anyone else played Borderlands 2?
I love the series, and I absolutely have.
All right, excellent. I chose him because I think he's the perfect villain for a game so focused on being funny.
Absolutely.
He's basically the CEO of the Hyperion Corporation, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Well, he is the new CEO.
Oh,
of the
that's right,
Hyperion
because you killed the
Corporation.
old one in
Yes.
one of the DLCs for the first game. But no, he's the quintessential businessman. He wears suits, looks good, pays top dollar for the way he looks. He's totally pompous, self-absorbed, doesn't care about anyone else.
Well,
he's an all-around good guy.
You know the backstory. You know the backstory of him, right? You know that that face he's wearing is not actually his face. You know, he's actually.
I had forgotten about that.
It's in an audio log that he's like a horribly ugly man, and he's jealous of I don't know if it was the president of Hyperion Corporation at the time, but there's another guy who's really handsome. So he kills him and cuts his face off, and that's the face he's wearing.
Yeah,
so just awesome.
He's a pretty awesome guy.
Yeah,
one of the missions in the game is you go into this new Hyperion city they had built for their workers, and you deface his statues. That's like the most upset you see him in the entire game.
So funny.
Interesting.
And then, like 2/3 of the way through the game, they reveal a more personal side of his story that I don't think I should tell you on here. Since you haven't played yet.
Yeah,
I've got it.
There's really
play
nothing
through
we've
it.
spoiled right now. That
I need somebody to play it with me.
I will. I'll bring. You know what? If you want me to power you through it, I'll bring my level 60
I don't need
Axton.
to power me through it. I want to.
Okay, well I'll
start a new character.
Yeah, I'll start a psycho. I'll name him.
Yeah, he's the kind of character that you love to hate. He makes it really easy and really fun.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't played the. Just I know you don't like the.
Well, if you guys see me on Steam on there, just hit me up and I'll.
Because you'll laugh so many times at the one of my side note. One of my favorite times is when you're with Claptrap heading up to kill Handsome Jack, and he throws something in his way that Claptrap just can't get past, and I cracked up for.
It's a pretty good joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll let you experience it for yourself.
All right. Okay. Number 4. Brian, you and I have the same one, it looks like.
Yep, because we think alike.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the rest of the list is
Very
close to similar on everybody, except Brian wanted to be different. But and I promise, I should have said this before, but I promise mine is not Squaresoft heavy this time.
Thanks,
like last
God.
week.
What about our sponsors?
They just they can listen to episode 1 again.
There you go.
Or something.
We'll get him back on episode 3.
There's always the 360.
Yeah, hey, you just got Don Matrick. Hey-oh.
Anyways, so my number 4 and Brian's number 4, GLaDOS from the Portal series.
What a great
Good choice.
Great villain.
Unbelievable. I mean, you talk about laughing.
Well, yeah, that's I was just about to say that's the only other game that I've laughed more at than Borderlands was Portal. Some of the things she said, and so deadpan like a robot would.
Yep.
Made it absolutely one of my favorite villains.
Yeah, I mean it's the quotes from that game and the exactly the deadpan voice was just spectacular. I can't get enough. Like anytime you would complete a new puzzle or something like that, she'd just come back and say something to you, and you're just like, "What?"
Yeah. Some of the, and it's just you get done with the level and. Hey, she'd say, "Hey, look, I just pulled up your file here. It says you're ugly." Just stuff like that. Like she's just absolutely brilliant writing. I love that.
Your parents called. They said they didn't want you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Just she's being so evil, but she sounds so nice doing it.
I mean, yeah, it's really, really, absolutely love the whole series. To be honest, have you played the second one?
Oh yeah, 1 and 2. Just
have you played a multiplayer?
Yeah, me and my brother finished the.
He has not.
Oh,
yeah, I haven't played the co-op.
Oh man,
co-ops is so smart. It's
a blast.
My brother and I blew through it, but it just took a lot of okay, you go here, you go here. We were sitting right next to each other. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I played it with his brother. We motored through it, but it was an actual blast. So Mark, your number 4.
My number 4 is Lavos. Is it Lavos?
I think it's Lavos because it's like lava.
Lavos from Chrono Trigger, which is, I know I guess you're playing it right now.
I'm playing it right now.
So,
yep.
Do you know anything about that yet?
All I know about Lavos thus far in my playthrough is that Magus was trying to summon him, ended up succeeding, and then I saw the end result of that summoning, and so now we're trying to fix that.
Yeah, that turned out really well, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like this villain because it sort of gets into that Cthulhu kind of mythology, where it's the
destroyer,
this star creature, this creature from space that's crashed down.
Yep.
And it's in the same way that the Alien movie was. The main villain is not evil. It's just something that's following its life cycle.
Yep.
It's just doing what it does.
Yep.
There's nothing to question about it. It's just part of its life. And it's also cool because it's been lying dormant for thousands of years. It's just been there the whole time, all of history. And depending on which translation you follow, it's also adjusted the course of evolution. Plus, that final battle is amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been a fun game so far. I've really been enjoying it.
It's amazing no matter when you do it, too. Oh, Chrono Trigger's so great.
Yeah.
It really is.
Chrono means time.
Okay, so number 3.
We all have this one.
Oddly enough, we all picked the same exact number 3, which is pretty cool.
Because we's friends.
Ganon from The Legend of Zelda.
Or Ganondorf.
Ganondorf.
Yeah, same thing.
I mean, he's just a bad dude.
When I think of villains, he's like the first one that pops in my head. Like
he's iconic.
Yeah, an iconic villain. It's like, oh, Ganon. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
That's obviously a great villain.
Do you guys subscribe to the Zelda chronology?
The timeline, absolutely.
Okay.
Don't diss the timeline.
So if you go on that, then he's unkillable, which makes him even better.
That's not necessarily true, because in the very last, or actually the second game ever released in the series, which is The Adventures of Link, I think, Zelda 2, you actually stop his resurrection, and that ends that's the dead hero timeline portion. So that actual timeline is done, but then there's still 2 other timelines that they're making games for. So I'm a huge Zelda nerd. So.
I have the book
that
they released a while ago. I haven't looked through it very in depth.
If you're curious at all about it, and especially Kingdom Hearts, don't watch it now. But Game Trailers has a series called Timeline, and they walk you through everything, like the Zelda series, and it gives you all this information. It's pretty good.
Yeah, cool. He's a wonderful villain.
Absolutely.
He's a wonderful villain.
He corrupted the sacred. Well, excuse me again. He corrupted the sacred realm. JJ.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Did anyone else do that?
He's one of those.
Anyone else on your list?
I don't know of anyone else who corrupted the
He's
sacred
actually
realm.
one of those villains on my list that kind of doesn't follow the same trope. He's just evil.
Yep.
But he's just such a, I guess, iconic villain that it's almost impossible to leave him off the list.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah. Everybody knows who Ganon is.
And you know, in Link, Ocarina of Time, you kind of find out that he's kind of that third piece. He's the Triforce of power in the struggle. So he's kind of like, he has to exist for the other two to exist. You know, it's kind of like that
just
whole...
a continuing battle.
Absolutely.
Yep. For sure. Number 2 and number 1, Mark and I, we think alike. We got the same ones. Brian had to be different.
Yeah, because I'm original and I like things.
Brian, I'm going to let you do your number 2 first, and I want to just warn the internet first.
Yeah.
Go easy on him, because I don't think he realized what he was getting into.
When I explain, you guys will understand why he's a great villain. I will make you understand why he's a great villain. Who is your
number 2, Brian?
My number 2 is Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII.
I would like everyone to take note that that was not me that put him on my list.
I'm gonna make you understand why he's a great villain.
Squaresoft employee.
Yes. Squaresoft employee. Sponsors. Look, yes, I know there's controversy with him, but he follows that path I like, where it's like, is he good? Is he bad? I don't know why, his choices he makes aren't very good. Obviously the story is he's a member of Soldier, finds out that he was part of the Genova Project, that he was a clone. That is kind of what hits the snaps him into the kind of like that psychotic, like, well, what's the point? I'm a clone.
Yep.
I don't care anymore. I hope the world ends. No, he's basically given up. There was that scene where you find a Chrysalisk version of Sephiroth in the crater. I believe that was the crater. If I'm wrong, it's internet will yell at me. But I just like that you kind of feel for him. You feel bad for him. You're like, well, damn, this guy's been...
To a certain extent.
Yeah, I did. I kind of was like, I get why he's pissed. He's basically just been used all his life, and now he basically feels like he doesn't even matter. He's basically, what's the point if I'm just a clone? Do I really have a soul?
I will say one thing I do like about him is, like, and I mean, he's definitely not the only, like, he's far from the only villain to do this in any game, but like, I really like how most of the game you're playing through it and you are all about trying to find him and stop him and all this stuff, but he barely even notices you exist.
You're just kind of like a little gnat.
You're nothing to him.
Yeah.
At the end, obviously he notices you, and he realizes who you are and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, literally, like, you meet him and he's like,
he's kind of like,
really,
okay.
you're gonna try? Okay, if you wanna.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you know what? I don't feel like it. Fight this thing instead.
And plus, he has a 20-foot long katana.
That's
hello.
Crazy. I don't know how he.
When
walks.
you fight him in Kingdom Hearts 2, Mark, you'll understand why.
I want to see how he walks through doors.
Yeah, exactly. Or how heavy that thing would be, man. You ever tried a 20-foot katana? You ever held a regular katana?
Have I ever tried to hold a 20-foot katana?
I mean,
yes, constantly. I'm working my way up to it.
All right. But that's why. So you can flame me all you want for liking Sephiroth, but I enjoyed that. Character trope.
That's not a bad choice.
No, I don't.
He did kill a major party member early in the game.
Right through the stomach.
How often does that happen?
No, not very.
I got my cousin to play that game recently, and I asked, like, he was at the beginning still, and I asked him which characters he used, and he's like, I'm going to use this one, and the third one was that one. And I was like, you think you'll use them till the end? He goes, yeah, I think so. And I was like, I leveled up really high. Okay, well, you just keep on using them.
I feel like that's what they were doing with that. They were like, oh, she's really good because, she has this skill, and then so the players were like, oh, I'm leveling her up. She's going to be in my party. And it's like, well, I wasted time.
Yep. I was stunned when I first saw
Absolutely.
that. But
yeah.
Anyway, so I think it's a good choice.
I do too.
You might get flamed a little, but I think it's a good choice.
Whatever.
Mark and I, like I said, we have the same one. I would venture to guess that most people probably haven't heard of this guy or played this game, because right now you can buy it brand new on Amazon for $700.
Yeah.
Is it that high now?
Yeah. Well, brand new.
Wow.
Used, you can probably, if you find like, you can probably get it for $100 with like
Yep.
no case, just disc only.
I got it in like new condition for 120 8 years ago.
My brother bought it for $150 in a pretty damn good condition.
I borrowed it from Mark, and I mean, he had been telling me for a long time to play it and check it out. I finally did, and I absolutely loved it. And this guy, Luca Blight is his name, from Suikoden 2. He is, or Suikoden, however you pronounce it. He's just a mean, bad guy. Does not care about anybody. I'll let Mark.
Bad.
Yeah, I'll let Mark talk a little more about him because I know he's a little more familiar.
Well, the game starts out with a pretty intense beginning. You and your best friend are in the Youth Brigade, which is like a youth soldier training program, and
like an ROTC.
Right.
Yeah.
And it gets attacked by another country's army, and everyone gets killed, except for those two. And then you find out that it wasn't another country's army; it was Luca Blight and your country's army killing them off to make it look like something to start a war.
Yep.
So he killed off innocent children to stir the pot and get people fighting.
And he did not even give it a second glance.
Nope, he didn't care.
And he's like that way through the entire game.
Yes.
He's just an absolute, he just likes to kill people and hurt people.
Are we concerned about spoilers at all with this 16-year-old game?
But wait, which one are you talking about?
The fact that he kills his own dad.
Oh, that's not really.
He poisons his glass of wine and kills him.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really nice fella.
I mean, and he enjoys it. Like, he really, literally, likes it. He's just maniacal. I mean, he's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. In fact, he's so evil that his own side sells him out in the end. You'll remember when they're laying siege to your castle.
He's basically like, he's coming after your entire army by himself. And you know what? Your archers, just unleash on him. And it shows, a picture of him with just tons of arrows in his back and his front all over. And he's still coming. I mean, it's insane. And oh man, it was so cool when you finally take him down.
And his last quote before he dies is, "It took hundreds to kill me, but I killed humans by the thousands. I am sublime. I am the true face of evil."
Wow,
he's quite the character. I would say, it was tough for me to decide my 1 and 2 because he's just such a bad guy.
Yeah,
I went with number 1, and I mean it'll be pretty obvious if you listen to last week's episode who my number 1 is. But that's pretty much the only reason, because I'm much more familiar with my number 1 guy. I guarantee if I had played Suikoden 2 as much as I had played this other game, I mean, it may have been switched around. I really, really just... He's a great character, don't get me wrong, but man, is he a bad guy. He really is. So, okay, we'll go on to number 1. Again, Brian, since you're different from Mark and I, and by different, I mean you're wrong.
correct.
Opinions matter.
Go ahead. Well, you haven't played this game, so
Yeah,
our game. So
I don't know of. Actually, they lost a little steam with me recently, and I'll explain why. But my number 1 is the Reaper. The Reapers, all of them. You can include Sovereign and Harbinger in there. Just the Reapers in general, from the Mass Effect trilogy. The reason I say they lost steam is I finally played the DLC, the Leviathan DLC, and I kind of didn't like the origin story of the Reapers. I did, but I didn't. The reason the Reapers were so high on my list for so long is because we're talking about entities that are beyond comprehensibly old. So we know the cycle of coaling in the solar system in the Mass Effect universe is every 50,000 years. Okay, they let a civilization get to technological age, and then they coal it. And they had been doing this for all we know, since the birth of the universe. We didn't know, and that's what I loved best about it. When you have that first talk with Sovereign in, I think it's Vermeer. When he pulls up on the screen and he's basically as matter of fact about it. He's telling everything you're saying is irrelevant. He's got that just that machine mentality where it's like the things that are important to you do not matter. You don't understand. You're not looking at it. I remember that scene. I got chills because I'm like, he's telling you that everything you think you're doing, love, human
Yeah.
emotion, it's irrelevant
Yep.
to the greater what we're doing. We are doing something so much more beyond what you can comprehend that I don't even know why I'm talking to you. That's what I got. I got that feeling, and that when that happened, when I had that talk with him, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm getting into stuff here that I don't even."
Yeah.
John Shepard, what are you doing?
I can't wait to start playing it.
I mean, just the matter of factness of these machines, where they're just kind of like, we are doing what we are doing. You don't need to understand why. It's way beyond you. They're basically saying, humans, stop fighting it. That whole trope, and I would just scour the wikis for like any kind of snippet of lore on the Reapers, because I was so fascinated by, they've been doing this for probably billions of years. They've gotten incredibly efficient at it. And then, the Leviathan DLC came, and you found out their origin story, which I wasn't opposed to it. I kind of figured it was something like that, where the cycle repeats. Everything kind of repeats over a certain amount of time, where it's I won't give anything away because I know you guys still got to play it, but it's basically the cycle of organic is created through the means of its evolution. The evolution of the machine is organics create the machine turns on the organics. It's a cycle, and finally you find out, what would happen if that happened without a check, right? Well, that's the Reapers. That's not going to give anything away, some spoilers, but the mysteriousness and just the matter of factness of the Reapers make them a very tough villain to beat in the future.
Very cool. All right. As I said, Mark and I, we got the same number one as well.
Time for the best villain.
Best villain ever.
Debatable.
He is just. Well, you know what? I'll just say it. I don't like clowns very much at all. They freak me out. He is a clown. He's a crazy clown. And he likes death, destruction, and just likes to kill people.
Yes.
And just likes all the negative aspects about life. Kefka from Final Fantasy VI.
Ding, 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 ding.
Did you catch the origin story? It's like a one-sentence line from a townsperson in one of in the Empire City. They said that he was the first Magitech knight.
Oh, yes.
He lost his sanity during the project.
Yes. Yeah, he definitely has no sanity whatsoever. This guy is, he just brings it home. He is just an absolute lunatic. He starts out in the game as the second in command, basically, and just ends up going off the deep end. You can tell he's nuts from the get-go, but probably about 60% through the game or so, he ends up just being like, I got my own plans, and does his own thing. And it's, I don't want to spoil anything, but he literally, at one point, I remember he's laughing about destroying a town and, killing all the citizens and everything.
When he poisoned the water, and he said that he loves the sweet music of hundreds of voices screaming out in unison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep. He there's another place where with General Leo where he's like, hate, 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 and he's like just chanting it, and just, he delights in other people's misery, and absolutely, they say, there are things worse than death. I think Kefka would love to just find out, what is worse than death. He's like, I don't have to kill you. I'll just torture you over and over and over again, and just, I'll have fun with it. And he just does not give a second thought to any of it at all. He absolutely just wants to destroy and kill for the sake of destroying and killing.
And there is something about thinking you know who the bad guy is, and then someone else just coming out of left field and topping him.
Yeah, it's not like Luca Blight. Luca Blight, we probably should have mentioned, he wasn't the main villain in Suikoden 2. He was not at all. Kefka ends up becoming the main villain, and you see it coming a mile away. Just because
doesn't make it any less fun.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. He's just great. He really is. I promise next episodes also my number one will not be a Final Fantasy VI reference.
Did you know JJ likes Final Fantasy VI? Revelation.
I thought about that too. I was like, well,
it's the same with me. I had the Mass Effect trilogy and look at the Reapers at number one. Yeah. It's generally that's how it works because the game is so good that a lot of the facets are unbeatable to you. So it's gonna be. So I get it.
Our next top 5 that I have picked will not will not put Final Fantasy VI even on my list, actually.
Ooh.
So,
Interesting.
Yes.
Nice.
So
I
stay
can't
tuned.
wait for episode 3. I can't wait to listen to it. Are you guys excited too? I am.
I
I'm
am.
stoked.
We'll have 50% more episodes when we record that one.
Oh, math is
right?
so crazy. We had 100% today, and now we have 50%. I'm cross-eyed.
So, all right. Well, that's our top 5 video game villains. I will probably make another post on the Facebook page asking for all the listeners
Opinions.
to
Yeah.
weigh in on what they think of
We'd like
ours
to hear
and
it.
their own. Definitely, I love
Yeah.
get in discussions about this type of stuff.
Yeah, we would definitely like to hear your top 5 and then completely ridicule you for it not being like ours.
Says the guy who put Sephiroth as
Hey!
number 2.
Yeah.
You are gonna catch so much crap for that. You know it.
should've
I
named-
can't wait, and I'm gonna point it out to be like, "What do you guys think of Brian's pick, huh?"
When you
Oh.
post this episode up,
Did I
make
say
sure to
Did I say
mention
Sephiroth?
that in the title or something.
Yeah.
Did I say Sephiroth? I meant Sephiroth. It's from a different game of some sort.
Yes. I'll make the description say like, this week we do our top 5 villains where Brian says he likes Sephiroth a lot.
No, Sephiroth.
There we go.
All right.
So it's episode 2. We're really not like, I mean, we got friends and family who listen to the show, and I think there might be a couple of people who are catching on to us, which is great. We haven't really gotten too many like questions or anything like that. I don't think we're
We're not there
mainstream
yet.
enough to get that.
Right.
So hopefully, after this episode or soon, we'll get something. But there was we did get a Facebook question from our good buddy Stitch. And I think this will probably take up the entire email section of the show.
Yeah.
To be honest,
We'll spend a little bit of time on it.
it's he asked us what we think of the new consoles, meaning the Wii U, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4.
That's a doozy right there.
We're gonna do our best to keep it
Yeah,
curtailed a bit, but like I said, you can't really do it without having a little bit of a lengthy conversation.
we could
Yeah.
talk about this for a long time because there's I mean that's just a loaded gun right there.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go system by system?
Yeah, let's go system by system and talk about pros, cons, and all that.
Sure.
And then at the end we can tell like what systems like we think is
We'll go Wii U first. I think would
because
probably
that
be.
came out first.
I have
Yes.
no knowledge of the Wii U.
I own one.
My brother does, and I played it
Your brother and I have video chatted on there
several times.
quite a few times.
He
Yep.
likes to draw on your
He,
face.
he does. He draws like boogers coming out of my nose,
Yeah.
and I draw hats on him, and it's
I kind of want one now.
it's actually. I mean, it's kind of cool, and it's
Yeah.
good for like but after like 5 minutes, you're just like,
Sure.
we're not really doing anything.
Yeah, let's play
productive
games.
at all.
I'm gonna play my Vigimo game.
Yeah, but you can't play together.
That's true.
You know what? Actually, that's a good point. I really hope that this generation. I really hope this generation strays from the last generation and the mold, the precedents that it set. I know I've talked to Mark about this before. Like Xbox, when I want good online and I want to play with other people, Xbox is the way to go.
Sure.
100%. If I want a good single player experience and I want to, have a game that I can get deep involved in, it's debatable, I know, but I think at least for me, PlayStation had
Yeah.
it nailed last gen. And if I wanted a party game where, I've got friends coming over and we just want to play a couple of video games, not anything too deep, just something fun,
Right.
Nintendo had it locked down.
Right.
I don't want to have to go and buy all 3 systems
Yeah.
to get,
Oh, God.
this thing. I would really like to see, if it were up to me, I'd love to see PlayStation lock it down, just because I'm a PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Xbox.
Not a fanboy, but
Um,
lean towards PlayStation, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I like my Wii U. I have a fun time with it, but yeah, it's just there's no games for
Oh,
it
Nintendo.
now. First
But,
of all,
What, Mario's not enough for you?
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that basically they released on the Wii, but then they just can't give an HD remake to.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job as far as the party games go. You guys haven't played it, I know Mark hasn't. My 2 cousins come over, and the 3 of us will play Nintendo Land for
Yeah,
hours.
it's fun.
It's an absolute blast.
Absolutely.
But I don't find myself at work going like, oh, I gotta get home and play my Wii U because
Right.
I miss the story of Zombie U.
Right.
I don't really have that desire. It's a good time killer. That's
Yeah.
it. And I don't think a system should be a time killer. I think a
Yeah.
system should be something you invest in.
Yeah, exactly.
How much does it cost?
It's about $300.
Yeah, $300 for a game system that you get out for your relatives.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, it's like I got people coming over. I'll bust out the Wii U. It's
Yeah.
not something where
And that's
I want to play it on.
Been my
own.
biggest problem with the Wii U is I want to play some games.
Yeah.
I buy gaming systems to play games. Where are the games? I know it's got the backwards compatibility with the Wii, and that's great. I do.
Yeah, but even that, I mean, it's not very well done.
No,
you
it's
have
very
to go
a pain.
into,
I know.
you know, you have to do the system transfer for
Right.
one.
Yep.
Well, you don't have to, but I mean, once you do that, then you've got there's still a whole separate loading screen you have to go through to get to your Wii.
Yep.
And I don't know. It just it seems like there's so much hassle.
I feel like they launched their system a year early. That's how it feels.
It is because I mean I got it because of what I want to play on it. I want to play Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Zelda,
I want Zelda. Yeah, I
all
want
that the promise of games.
Mario Kart.
Absolutely.
Have you seen their new commercials?
Uh-uh.
Where the commercials essentially it's like a parent and then his kids, and they go play the Wii U at Nintendo's office just so they can get the kids saying it's a completely different console.
Oh boy.
I think that really telegraphs that there's a huge problem with their image right now.
Yeah.
People don't understand that it's a new console.
I didn't when I first saw it. I had no idea. All they showed was the controller.
First of all, the name is that's a huge problem.
Yep.
It just sounds like an add-on or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a Wii with better online or something, maybe.
With a new controller. That was all I thought it was just a new controller.
And then the fact that it's no better than current gen consoles is also really hurting it.
It's the same thing with Wii. The Wii was like a GameCube, barely better than the GameCube.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're focusing on bringing people together and all that stuff. It's like, oh, well, that's great, but what about the guy who doesn't have? I'm an only child.
Yeah.
I live alone. I don't have people that play games with me.
Right.
So I need to play online.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to play with family and stuff like that. They don't come over that often. Right. So I need to play online. And the Nintendo's online reputation is
terrible.
I mean, it's awful.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. I tried playing Smash Brothers online on the Wii, and I mean, the lag was just so bad for the most part. It's just, it really, really,
Yeah, Nintendo just launched a year or two. Just think about it. What games are coming out in 2013 for the Wii U that are like, name one?
Is X coming out?
No, it's all the games they did at E3 are coming out in 14. Exactly.
I'm not a Pikmin fan. So.
No, see, and it's like, man, and I love Nintendo. Like some of their IPs are some of the all-time greats: Star Fox, Zelda, Metroid, Mario.
I would love to see a new 3D Mario.
Yeah,
but Super Mario 3D
Pokemon.
Land is not what I'm looking at. I really don't care.
I think they need to make some new games.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
they can't just rely on Zelda and Mario.
But they can. Yeah. That's the thing. I think they can. That's the thing. But here's the problem.
It is holding them afloat.
That's what's keeping them afloat. But when you just go, hey, we're going to release a Zelda game once every 6 years, 5 years. Okay, Nintendo, what else am I going to buy your system for? Okay, I'll buy the Zelda game I'll buy the system when the Zelda game comes out. It's like you got to have variety. You got to have the ability of third-party support. Hello, you got to have that.
And you know what? That's a good lead-in. I know this probably get me more hate than your Sephiroth thing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Xbox One next.
Xbox One.
I feel that way about the Xbox One. I bought the regular Xbox, the original Xbox One.
Yeah, Xbox One.
So I could play Halo with my roommates.
Absolutely.
That was it. I did, and I loved it. But then I had the Xbox, and I had no other games that I wanted to play for it. When I think Xbox, I think Halo, Forza, and Call of Duty.
Yep.
And little kids who scream into the microphone.
Right.
And
definitely.
It's got a bro
boys.
game rap.
I feel like you can see them trying to get out of that. I mean, they have Gears of War, which they paid a lot for.
That's a bro
Gears
game.
War.
Yeah.
And they've got some new stuff coming out. One of the problems they have is they let studios go. I don't understand that.
Yeah, Bungie.
Like the people that made Age of Empires.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't necessarily let Bungie go.
They did in a sense by saying, "Hey,
you can make games for PlayStation now too."
Yeah.
Yeah. Destiny looks great.
I'm
glad.
God. Hey,
I'm sure what happened with Bungie was the top brass was saying they're going to leave.
Yeah.
And then they realized it just wasn't worth it. And spun
true.
the company off.
Yep.
Either way, I mean, because I only think of 2 or 3 games. Nintendo, I feel the same way, but it's so cheap that I was like, what the heck?
Price is
I really
also,
want to.
Yeah, factored.
The Xbox is going to be super expensive, and I love that they retracted all their stuff.
Yeah.
And I hope it stays that way, because
Right.
I could totally see them eventually switching back and being like, remember all that stuff that you didn't like that we were going to throw in there? We're
Yeah.
going to do it again. I could totally see them doing that at some point.
Well, yeah,
Because they were so adamant about wanting to go towards the whole digital only,
yeah.
type deal. I can see that happening eventually, but I don't want to buy a $600 system, for 3 games that are, the exclusives that I know, and then everything else I can still play on my PlayStation 4.
Right. Well, my biggest problem with Xbox was never the DRM, never the online check. I get why people had a problem with that, but I don't have, I don't travel with my Xbox or anything. My biggest problem, and this is where I don't understand Microsoft's goal, was they basically made all the choices for you.
Yeah.
How many times when they said, "Oh yeah, you have to buy the Kinect," I don't want the Kinect.
Yep.
I don't want it. I can't turn it on. It's part of the system, right? Here's my whole issue with Xbox. Why not show me the value of Kinect and then say, here it is, buy it, and it will absolutely elevate the game. I got in an argument with somebody because I was supposed to see the intuition of the Kinect. I was supposed to understand that Microsoft was doing something intuitive. Well, they didn't show me that. All they said was, hey, you have to buy the Kinect with the system. You don't have a choice. It's the only bundle we are offering.
And so far,
who does that?
And so far, all they've shown that it can do is turn it off and on.
I think I don't like their decision for myself. I think it's really stupid, but they've made a good choice. I was looking, there's like 400 Kinect exclusive games right now for the Xbox.
Seriously?
I've never even heard of these games, but I'm willing to bet that parents throw that thing down in front of their kids and buy them these crap games, and it sells like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that if you're talking about hardcore gamers, I was like, I was like, oh, they're going to integrate the Kinect. I was like, oh, I'm going to buy the bundle without the Kinect because I don't really want it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't do that. And also, hey, the system's $500, which I'm guaranteeing the Kinect is part of that price. So it's like going to buy a pair of shoes. It's like you have to buy these wings on the shoes. You have to. We're making that choice for you. You don't have a choice. That's a horrible business strategy. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want, but if I understand that companies do bundles all the time, but it's not one bundle. It's good, better, best. It's like here's a bundle for it's affordable, and then here's the bundle. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's got this, and then here's the top premium bundle. Not one bundle.
And even Nintendo had that down. They did their 2 separate
Absolutely.
things.
I think this is just really systematic. The problem with Microsoft as a whole is they're run by suits
Yes.
and not people that use their products.
Yeah.
When you look at Sony, it's clear that those executives play those games. But with Microsoft, they're just businessmen.
They're out to make money.
Yep.
And I'm sure Steve Ballmer and, Don Matrick were thinking, if we force every console to have a Kinect, then more developers will want to design for the Kinect.
Yeah, they're thinking about the developers, not the customers. And I will eat my words if they come out or there's a game that comes out that uses the Kinect so well that it's like revolutionary. I'll eat my words. But
I think it's possible.
Yeah, but
Sure.
I haven't seen any, and I haven't even seen an inkling of kind of innovation. I'm a friend of mine said that it was really fun to play Mass Effect 3 with the old Kinect, and he said all he said was the voice commands.
Yeah, the voice commands.
I was like, okay, so you have to buy a $100 camera to have voice commands.
No
give me something that has to do with that camera.
Did you guys see that?
I don't even want voice commands.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't want
you see that Gladiator game that was shown at their conference? Rise?
Yeah.
That was originally supposed to be a Kinect game.
but
And they took it all out and made it just a
QuickTime event.
QuickTime event game.
Yeah.
Show me why I have to buy that Kinect.
Hopefully
at
they'll...
day one. Or I won't.
Yeah.
I agree.
That definitely needs to be justified. There's a couple more conventions before it comes out. Maybe they will. Probably they won't.
Some of their exclusives look phenomenal.
Absolutely.
I thought, you know what? I mean, again, I'm not a huge Xbox fan. I thought their games probably looked the best at E3.
Well, I'm a huge Halo fan, right? Yep. And I can't buy the system because I don't want to pay for that stupid camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for that. I don't want that. don't want it. That's
Project
just-
Spark.
It looks good.
It looks
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna.
You're going to
spend.
pay. It's like, oh, I have to pay $500 for something I don't like. It's
Yeah.
add-ons you don't want. It's like I don't
Exactly.
want that. So they're
Well,
just
it's not an
hurting
add-on
themselves.
anymore. Apparently.
Oh yeah.
No,
Well,
it's part of the system.
Hey, this is part of the system. Deal with it. That's basically what Microsoft said. And it's like, okay,
if you don't
thanks
like
for-
it, buy a 360.
Yeah. Hey, if you don't like it, buy it. Well, I mean, that was for the online connectivity, but
Is that the guy that's
still.
gone now?
Yeah, he went to Zynga.
Zynga.
Okay, so PlayStation 4. I'm stoked.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I'm a skeptic, so I've been watching a lot of interviews with. Oh God, I'm having my brain's farting all over the place here. Head guy, CEO of Sony Entertainment, Computer Entertainment.
I don't know his name.
I do. I know his name. I can't.
Ken Kutaragi?
No, he's in the American division. A lot of us here.
I'm really not sure.
Don
Okay.
Matrick.
No. Okay, we'll probably edit in his name, but
Let's see if I can find
yeah,
it.
pull it up because I just watched an interview with him. So
It's
I
going to
feel
still
stupid.
record while I'm doing this, right?
Yeah, we'll just.
Depends on your computer.
Here,
Is it a
I
piece
got
of
my
crap?
here. I got my cell phone. Jack Trenton. Holy crap! Anyway,
Jack Trenton. That's his name.
I've been watching a lot of interviews with him, and I don't know if he was. I'm so convinced that he knows how gamers think, and he's been around since '95, since the first PlayStation. I watched an IGN Up at Noon episode with him doing an interview, and me and my brother both said he is basically saying everything right.
Yeah.
I hope it's true. I'm a skeptic though, so I always think companies are trying to screw you over because generally they are. But everything that he said that's going on, I'm like, that is Sony is doing absolutely everything that they need to do to pull ahead.
I will say though, one thing that worries me, and this is coming from a guy who loves Sony, and I think the Xbox guys will probably love me for saying this. At their E3 presentation, I wish there was a little bit more as far as the games and everything. I think they
Sure.
were, and I heard this on another podcast, RPG Cast, from RP Gamer. If any of you guys go to that site or
Right.
anything like that, they do a really, really great podcast. They're like on episode 300 something right now. But one of the guys on there, I think he said it best. They focused much more on dropping mics than they were on
Right.
showing their games off.
No, you're right. The E3 conference was basically just, hey, Microsoft, this is what we're doing.
We're doing exactly what Microsoft
Is
should
not-
be doing.
Yeah, we're doing the right thing, and I know it worked for them, and
Sure.
I know where you're going with this, and I agree, but I don't need them to show me what they're doing because the trust that they've built up in me, they have Naughty Dog, number one, okay,
But
They're
they're
g-
online.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
They're
get it.
going to be charging for online. Which, you know what, if they do what Microsoft has been doing and they have all these dedicated servers that run great
and it works.
then it's going to be awesome, absolutely. But I need to see it first.
Yeah.
I'm
There's a lot of promise out there for PlayStation.
Correct.
Not a lot of substance. Like
And
Gaikai
I-
is another thing.
if they don't deliver and they made, they put on this big show beforehand, I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to suck.
Well, that's
You
why
know?
the console war is not won and lost at E3, and everybody's freaking
Sure.
out.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, well, let's find out how these systems go because the PlayStation 3 had a reversal. It started out I was like, I'm not paying $600 for
Yeah.
a PS3, no way. So
Yeah.
I bought a PS3 when it dropped like twice.
Yeah.
I was like, finally, okay, now it's affordable. Now I'll buy it. That was a terrible mistake. But then they were like, oh, okay, we learned from that. So I'm hoping Microsoft does the same thing. Oh, we made all these terrible ideas. Let's take the Kinect out. It's not working well.
Yep.
Something like that. I'm sorry, I hate the Kinect, so you'll hear that a lot.
That should have been your number one villain.
Yeah, the Kinect. Oh, I don't want to play dance games. I don't like to dance.
That would have been great if you had that as your number one
Yeah,
villain.
the Kinect.
Microsoft Connect. Yeah. So, anyways, I really wish they would have just toned it back a bit rather than just sitting there and trying to be like, yeah, well, we're not going to do it this way, and we're going to do this, and blah, which is great for them to say.
A lot of promise.
I just wish they hadn't focused all of their energy on it.
100% agree. It's
Yeah. I feel like what they came out and said was, we're going to give you a console without baggage. And
Yeah.
they really succeeded there.
But they didn't need to repeat it over and over
Right.
and over again and rub it in their faces.
We all know that the multi-platform games are going to be on every console.
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
So what they're selling us on is their exclusives, which they have, and the lack of baggage.
Yeah, I hope their promises turn out. I do, but like I said, I'm always skeptical about it.
Well, then, real quick to wrap this up, let's assume all three of us at one point, whether it's true or not, are going to get all three consoles. What's the order you're going to get them in, Brian?
I recently bought a Vita because I'm hoping the promise of the Vita being kind of like the Wiimote where you can remote play is going to be, so I'm getting a PS4. I don't know if I'll get it right at launch, but I mean within a launch window. Mm-hmm. So I'll be paying launch price for that. As soon as a Zelda game or a Metroid game or an actual Mario game comes out, or Mario Kart comes out for the Wii U, that'll probably be my next price. I will not buy the Xbox One until they remove Kinect functionality, until they're or they show me the one of two reasons I'll buy an Xbox One. It comes so dirt cheap that it's almost like a steal to buy.
Yep.
They remove the Kinect, or they show me why the Kinect's worth it. Those are the only reasons why I'll buy an Xbox. And I love the Halo series. I had an Xbox 360. I had an original Xbox. It's just, they just didn't hit with this one on me.
There you go. Mark?
I think I'm definitely going to start with the PlayStation 4. I'm not going to pre-order it. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick it up as soon as I can after it comes out.
That's same with me.
It's just an easy decision. It's $400. It's going to have good games. It's got good architecture. And then the Xbox One will be my second one once it's come down to a reasonable price.
Right.
And once the games are actually out for it.
Yeah.
Because we know the launch titles are going to get delayed on all the consoles.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, that's how every console series is hey, come, look at these. Oh, wait, we're not done
yet.
Well,
Nintendo, their launch titles were out when they said they'd be. It's just that they didn't have anything to follow
all
up
three of
afterwards.
them?
It was we got our launch titles out.
Yay.
That's all we have for the next 6 months.
Oh, you mean we have to continue to make games? Hold on.
Man.
Thanks for buying our system.
So you don't think you'll ever get a Wii U?
I don't think so.
He'll just play all the games on JJ and my computer, huh?
Yep.
Well, then for me, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I already own a Wii U, so
you bought that first.
That's my number one.
Wah, wah, wah.
And then definitely PS4. I think we should all play Destiny together when it comes out.
Oh my god,
for sure.
That game looked amazing.
Looks really good.
And then I'm in the same boat with you. I would love to get an Xbox One eventually because there are a few games that I would like to play on it. I don't own a 360, and I still literally there's 3 or 4 games that I want to play on it, and that's it. And I mean, this is at the end of its life cycle, so that's what scares me about buying an Xbox. I don't want to fall into the same trap.
Bad investment, right?
And with the whole Kinect thing, I don't want one. So why would I buy for a system that both is going to screw me on, the Kinect deal, in addition to possibly, putting me in the same boat as far as games in the future.
So it's I have this awesome camera.
So I know for a fact that I'm going to, play games on the PS4 and I'm going to like it.
Absolutely.
Whether they're cross-platform or not. I don't care about exclusives on PlayStation.
Sure.
There are a few that are great, but
it's what bolsters the.
I'm not a fan of God of War or Gran Turismo or anything like that.
Right.
I just, anyways. So I do believe that is it for this episode.
Yes, episode 2 in the bag.
Can I change my answer? The first console will be a Steam box.
Oh God!
It's announced.
Oh man, they better get that right.
Touche.
That's all.
I have no desire to get a Steam box.
Nah,
right
I got
now.
a computer.
I got my computer. Yeah, I'm good with it. Our next episode, we will record again in 2 weeks. The 2 games that we are going to be reviewing will be posted on Facebook. So if you check our Facebook page, see what it is there.
Suspense.
Tricked them.
You just check our Facebook page. We have a Twitter up, like we promised last week. But I've only updated it I think 2 or 3 times so far. I really haven't done much with it.
He's not tweeting.
I don't know much about Twitter, so I'm still kind of trying.
You're like a little bird. You got to tweet it.
I gotta
every morning.
Yeah.
Tweet.
Like a little bird.
You need to get on there and tweet
it.
You got to tweet it, man.
I know.
Those kids love their tweets.
Those kids love them tweeters.
How are they going to check their tweets about the Frozen North if we don't put them up there?
Yeah,
True enough.
Tweeters.
But yeah, please like us on Facebook. We are also on Podomatic, I think is the name of the site.
Podomatic?
Right now. Yeah. I put us up on there. Subscribe to our RSS feed. And
email us questions. We'd love to answer them.
Please, yes, email us at frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. That's we would love to get some questions, get some more discussion. We ran a little long today. I guess that's a wrap, guys. My name is JJ, signing off. I'm here again with my co-hosts, Mark.
My name is Mark, and I am the source of the best video game information.
And Brian.
My name is Brian, and I'm sitting next to the source of the best video game information.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. Over and out.
This song was made available via the Creative Commons Attribution License. The song, Somewhere in the Stars, was written and produced by SoundCloud user _TWC.